Good morning. So I already did this once. I was editing it, and sure enough, something just happened to happen. The file became corrupt. You know how DB is when DB goes and does all these things. They just don't seem to like me. That's okay. So DB's coming at you with his top 6 most underrated or unknown or don't get enough love fragrance houses. So stay tuned. This is DB. I'm about to take you behind the nonsense. So I want to start an honorable mention to begin with, and that's Alexandria. I'm sorry, guys. I got my camera on the opposite end. I won't say Alexandria is quote unquote, it's underappreciated. It's not underrated. And what I mean by that, and I won't spend much time into, is when people started getting into the cologne fragrances, a lot of times they're stuck on the Dua. And I'm not knocking Dua by any means. I love Dua. Dua is a great fragrance house. I just think that Alexandria as a whole does it better. Presentation, which is part of this. Perfume quality is not as good as Dua's, but it's definitely not to be dismissed. They do a very good job. I just think Dua does it a notch better. So I won't spend time on that because that's an honorable mention. But let's get to number 6. Now, this on my list would be a little bit higher if it didn't get the exposure that it already gets. And that, my friends, is Happy Land Studio. Other than the fragrance reviewers, Happy Land doesn't get the love it deserves. I know about a dozen people that, outside of reviewers, that actually give this a lot of love. They actually own them. And I own every fragrance that E.J. Wells has come out with. And I've yet to find one that I don't like. Not saying there won't be. I think there's a couple in there I may not like. That doesn't mean they're bad. But Happy Land to me is just something that doesn't get circulated enough. And it's a shame because Happy Land fragrances are very well done. I feel like E.J. Wells, I've said it before, he's a mad scientist. The dude just absolutely spends time and puts quality into all his fragrances. And I absolutely 110% love him and back him. I think he does great. So, and my number 6 is Happy Land Studio. My number 5, the only reason that this isn't higher on my list is because they only have one fragrance in their house. Now, this doesn't get a lot of love simply because nobody wants to review it. I feel it's a darn shame because if they put their nose on it, they'd love it. That's House of Authenticity Perfumes. This, guys, man, I'm telling you. You got the lemon, you got the pineapple, the peppercorn, the soapy smell. It's done, man. It's done very, very well. I don't know why. I sent it off to TLTG for him to review. He just gave me a thumbs up. I don't really know what that means. I don't have any problems with Ross, but we're not tight like we used to be. I've sent this off to BroSense. He's reviewed it. I sent this off to another gentleman. I won't throw his name out there, but he seems like it's a little too low on his totem pole, if you will. No disrespect. I think he's more into the very expensive fragrances than he is with any designer. So my number 5 is the Authenticity. I wish it would get a lot more love. I'm serious, guys. I promise you, it's $31.99 a bottle. If you don't like it, you've wasted nothing. It's 100 ml. If you don't like it, give it away. It's simple. I'll buy it because I want more of them. So my number 4 fragrance is another house that I feel like doesn't get a whole lot of love, period. And that's why it's a little higher on my list. If people would take the time and get to know this house a little more, they actually have 1, 2, 3, and they're about to come out with 4, I do believe, And that is the House of Wise Guys. Wise Guys and O.G. Gabriel and his Goodfellas are doing things right, you guys. This is a masculine, sexy fragrance. If you're wearing this and you're not getting any love, there's something wrong with you. You're really ugly. Sorry. Or you're not putting it on properly. This house is absolutely wonderful. And the fact that it doesn't get the love it deserves, just me and another reviewer are the ones who really give this thing a lot of love, and that's a shame. So, Wise Guys, that's my number 4. Number 3 is a house that's been around a long time, and I feel like when people are on the fragrance community and they're searching for fragrances and the designers, they're not asking for this as much as I thought they were. And that is the house of Hugo Boss. These guys have been around a while. Oh, God. And I feel like they've just stepped up their game when they went to the Eau de Parfum quality. And I'm serious, guys. I mean, the scent has people asking for it a lot more than any other. But there's so many Boss fragrances nowadays that have, it's just stepped up their game. And I know that this guy makes a lot of money. I know this is a popular, but it just doesn't get the kind of love it deserves. People should be reaching for Hugo Boss a lot more and asking for it a lot more than they do. I personally did not like Boss. There was very few Bosses that I personally purchased before they went to the EDP formulation. And my personal opinion, I missed out. And now I have quite a few Boss. I have 8 Boss fragrances. It's not that that's a lot, but I bought those in a very small amount of time. So that tells you how much I love, especially the scent line and the bottled line. They're both absolutely wonderful. So number 3 is Hugo Boss. Now, the next one is maybe possibly a little controversial, but I don't care. I like controversy. I just don't feel like when people, for me, this house, when it gets resold, takes a big hit in value, and it's upsetting. And that is the house of Mancera. Why? Why, oh, why, oh, why? When I see their bigger brother get resold, Montal, they get resold darn near value. And here's my opinion, okay? This should be the bigger brother. These bottles are heavy, glass. The lid is a screw-on lid. I don't know why I'm infatuated with the screw-on lid. I think it's just a great idea. I mean, I want to be able to pick something up. Sometimes I grab it, want to be able to pick it up and the lid not pop off maybe. I don't know. This is kumquat wood. But I don't understand how this house gets no love. This should be the bigger brother, and Montal should be the little brother. This, in my opinion, is just done. Their fragrances, I love more Mancera fragrances than I do Montal. You just have to have that love for a lot of rose and a lot of the Montals, and that's not me. So I absolutely enjoy this house. And every time I see this house, I mean, retail on these is $189. You can get these, on Facebook community, 100 to 125 range. But when they resell, these are like 50 to 75 bucks. And that's a shame because it's a good house. So that leads me to my numero uno. And a lot of you guys may not know, but some of you may. It's okay. DB will repeat itself. That is the House of Cuba. Very, 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 very underrated. A lot of it is because of the price, because it's cheap. A lot of it has to do with just people not knowing about it. And, you got a lot of people who are niche snobs. They got to have that niche. But in my opinion, this is glass. This is plastic. I mean, if this was glass and this was glass, it's got the Cuba ring around it like a cigar. I do find that cheesy. I'm sorry, guys, but, it is what it is. This is the Paco Rabanne 1 million clone. This smells better than Paco Rabanne. That's my opinion. great freaking scent. Just absolutely underrated. These last longer than Paco Rabanne's. Yes, the gold bar looks absolutely cool. Don't get me wrong. It's great. I love it. But in my opinion, that's, you know, you get a $14.99 to $15.99. You get 3.3 ml. Paco Rabanne's double that. This gives you the same performance. Actually, it smells richer and lasts a little longer on my clothes than Paco Rabanne. So you're going to pay double just to have the Paco Rabanne. That's cool. I mean, I understand that. Sometimes maybe triple. Just depends. I think it's an absolute all-around gold gem. And I think that's what everybody's missing. So, hey guys, thanks a lot for sticking around. Thanks a lot for giving me your time. Just as DB's 6 most underrated, unknown, or unappreciated fragrances. So, appreciate it. And I just took you behind the nonsense. Have a great day.